Live, Think Fast. This video, just wanted to share an exercise, basically like a spiritual exercise that me and the brethren tried out, which was pretty cool. But basically, and this is just for yourself in general, but it's a 7-day talking diet. Call it a talking diet, but just to get a preface of it, you know, a lot of times when we deal with each other in conversation, we're listening, but not, matter of fact, we're hearing, we're not really listening. Matter of fact, I just came across a video, shout out to Lil Wayne, man, blessings to you, man, love and light. You know, he was like, there's a difference between listening and hearing, you know what I'm saying? Because you could hear something, you know, like I heard that, you know, I heard a noise, but then are you listening to that noise, you know what I'm saying? And seeing and comprehending that noise. Give me 1 second. How it happened when you're going live on the video. I had this little paper out and the wind started blowing it, you know, blew it away. Anyway, the 7-day talking challenge, and basically a talking diet. You know, again, like when we get in conversations, you know, we're hearing and not really listening. Like we're kind of hearing, in essence, waiting to come with our rebuttal. So we're not listening fully, like we're not fully present and fully listening. Like you kind of listen, so you could like, all right, they wrong about this, are they right about this or this, you know, but you're analyzing it so much while they're talking, or you're getting ready for, not say analyzing it so much, but getting ready to say what you have to say towards what they're saying. And that's why, like, we always, like, are we talking and we trying to cut each other off? Like, man, hold on. You know, it's like not letting each other express a full thought. And the 7-day, you know, talking diet definitely, you know, matter of fact, it brings a little fun to the spirituality, you know, because, you know, dealing with not talking and having to communicate on that level. But again, it brings more mindfulness to conversing, you know, because if I'm not able to talk, then, you know, in essence, it creates that type of vibration where it's like, all right, if I'm not able to talk, then what's the point of gathering up a rebuttal while this person is talking? You know, it almost forces you into a place of, you know, listening. It's like, all right, well, I just might as well listen. I can't say nothing back, you know, and it's kind of, you know, how I say, a little sad that it takes those type of things for us to become better listeners and talkers as well. But, you know, it definitely, you know, points that out. I mean, and it definitely teaches you a lot about yourself. I know at one point, you know, in which everybody who done probably came across when we go to talk, and I'm like, wait, hold on, am I talking too much? You know, I definitely had that, you know, or still have that vibration, to just be real. As far as, like, you know, having to monitor, you know, myself going on these little tangents of wanting to share spiritual information. You know, I got to make sure I'm not like on no egotistical, I just want to, you know, in which it never really gets to that place. But, you know, I just always got to watch, because a lot of talking information, you know, in some cases, in a lot of cases, you know, is really teaching and really sharing. But then sometimes it could be you just like, you know, just I know this about a crystal, I know that about a chakra, and this and that, you know what I'm saying? So it's being careful of that vibration. But also, if you do happen to do that, don't, you know, kill yourself over it. You know, realize that you may talk too much or too little and keep it moving. Because another thing, it kind of taught me the balance of it. Because it had situations where, like, all right, the dogmatism towards spirituality, well, all right, we said, basically it was, and it's the thing, it was like no talking. Now you could either do just completely no talking, or you could do no talking only if asked a question. So you can only talk if asked a question, and then if asked a question, you're answering directly with, and that's another thing, teaching you to answer just with what you have to say, you know. So if somebody asks you, you know, where's this place around the corner? Then you give the directions around the corner and you back quiet, instead of like, you know, yeah, it's around the corner. It's right next to this little soup spot that I used to always like to go to, me and my girlfriend, and we used to do this and that. And you see how your conversation could just go from, you know, just simply answering to, and again, nothing is wrong with this, but again, it helps us to monitor how much we're over talking, because a lot of times too, we're just just a small talk or just talking about things just to be hearing ourselves. You know, the ego feel like it's not existing if it doesn't hear words coming out. So that's another thing too. And at first, another thing too, you made while trying this talking diet out. If you feel like some blockage in the throat chakra a little bit, do you some deep breathing and do you some ohms. Like, you know, that's not necessarily talking, but you know, because one of the first things we experienced dealing with it was like felt like a little lump in the throat chakra, you know, because there were certain things you wanted to express, but it's like, and two, kind of teaching that, you know, it's not necessarily meant for you to just always have to, you know, be quiet. Now, of course, we got these telepathy abilities, and we're moving to a place where we'll be able to use it more, and you know, it's getting stronger. But at the same time, you know, we're talking now, you know, and things are how they are now for a reason. So until we go to that point, you know, we're still communicating with sounds or words in essence. But again, it just yeah, if you come across that throat chakra problem, you know, you just do the deep breathing or you do some ohms, and that'll kind of knock that little blockage out. And then that's only for the first little, want to say, you know, first hours or the first day, you're gonna kind of feel that. But towards the next few days, it's just gonna become like, you know, a regular thing. And matter of fact, what I did, or what most of us did, I had a sign that said, you know, I could only speak if asked questions. And matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, shout out to the brethren Sonny. My brethren Sonny, who kind of was doing it and kind of gave me the idea to do it. Matter of fact, and shout out to my brethren Crockett and Cisco, who I was doing the situation. We kind of all three decided to do it at the same time, and it made it more of a you know, a real thing to deal with, because it's like, all right, we can't talk to each other, you know, and since we were mostly being around each other, it was kind of, it really put us in that place of like, all right, I gotta be quiet. You know, and of course we was kind of sometimes doing like or, you know, writing out what it is. But again, you know, it's just a practice for mindfulness, because also you don't want to be so dogmatic about it, because honestly it was set for 7 days, but we kind of like came to an end at the 6th day, because it was like, all right, we learned our lesson, you know, because it comes to some points where, you know, I'm going to a store, I'm dealing in a certain situation, it's like, all right. And the universe was showing me that, like, all right, break this little silence thing to take care of this, you know, like, the point is to be mindful, you know, you don't have to, you know, like, it's like that, well, I gotta go to church Sunday no matter what, or I have to meditate every second no matter what, and if I don't, the world is gonna end, you know, it's like, to take me out of that vibe with it, you know, like, well, of course you got the 7-day talking diet you're going on, but that doesn't mean you have to be, like, dogmatic, like, nope, no matter what. A woman could be burning on side of me. I'm not gonna call a fire department and talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's not that extreme. So it's also teaching you not to get caught up in the dogmatisms. You know, and when I say dogmatism, like just dogmatic, like where it's just like routine, religious rule type of, you know, I could only do it this way, and if I don't do it this way, the world gonna end. I'm gonna burn up, or this and that. You know, it's like, nah, man. Be childlike, be like nature, you know. Do you see nature holding grudges against itself? Do you see children holding grudges against themselves? No. Matter of fact, and children don't start doing it until our slow way of thinking is taught to them, you know, which is changing up as we speak. And also, thinking to this situation, think about blue lace agate. I don't know if that could see it, but blue lace agate is one of the best crystals for dealing with knowing when to speak and when to be quiet. It also brings a mellow mediator vibe to speaking. So when you're speaking, you know, it brings a calmness to it. You know how to deliver things with a much smoother vibe, but it also keeps conversations from getting irate. You know, like and matter of fact, even though this is something like, you know, the little small talk miscellaneous thing, but just say if you were to get in a basketball conversation with somebody, I just go to this because that's what I used to do, you know, fuss about sports. So it's like, you know, if you was to talk about a certain player or this and that, when you know, when you're discussing it, if one person was trying to like bring you to that place, you were just like, you know, man, I'm just delivering it from my place, you know, and that's just how I feel. You know, like you're gonna stay in your little zone, you know. and that's another thing that's important. With the Zen practices, not, and again, like be childlike, but like Zen practice teaches you when you're going too far in the extremes, it does open you up. Like when you get like overexcited for every and anything, you know what I'm saying? Like your energy is like out there, and people are able to pull it in, and kind of like or like having a crystal that has your vibration spinning on such a high level, and you're not grounded, so just shooting all your energy out. I think to that example, but again, even with looking at certain teachings and practices, it's not to be dogmatic about it. So even though I learn things from Zen, I go with the flow, which in essence Zen teaches you that as well. It's like, hey, we may say this is how you be in this space or that space, but really Zen just tell you, man, just be in whatever you're doing, you know what I'm saying? Like just in that little mid place. But just definitely wanted to share that, the 7-day diet challenge. So if y'all want to try it, it's something to try out, and it's definitely very helpful. Again, I learned how much I talk too much, and I learned that about situations where I would talk too little, because again, with somebody that's very knowledgeable about some things, and being a person that may slip and talk too much, I had to find that balance of when there was a teaching opportunity, and I say teaching opportunity, but teaching situation, when teaching presented itself, it was like, all right, now it's time for you to just blah, blah, blah about chakras and crystals and all this, and then now it's the time to not, you know what I'm saying? So it's like finding that balance, because again, we are here for a purpose, a lot of us, especially like on the student/teacher vibe. So, a lot of us is not gaining all this knowledge and loving to be in that teacher perspective, or be in that teacher vibration for nothing. We're getting this knowledge and, loving to teach, because that's what, that's our trueness of our being. You don't want to take yourself away from that, but you do want to balance, the talking and not talking vibe, and the listening vibe. And again, it brings up the 7-day talking diet. Helps for you to become, definitely helps with becoming a better listener. Because again, how many times we listen to somebody and they like, well, in Kemet, they did this and this and that, and then while they talking, you're like, yeah, but in Atlantis they did this, and like you're thinking while they're talking, And of course, we're pretty good multitaskers, and some of us are pretty good at listening to somebody and multitask. Because in some cases, we're listening mindful, and our higher self is hitting us with some little things to just to say whenever the time is ready. But again, it's like a lot of us, we be in our mind while somebody talking, like getting the rebuttal ready. So while they talking about how good a certain thing they do spiritually is, you like, but you right, they say if they talking, you're like, but yeah, what I do is this and that. I'm about to tell them how I do this and that. You in your mind getting rebuttals ready, you know what I'm saying? That's why, too, I brought this up before in one of the herb smoking videos I did a while back, but like, the reason why we do that, like when we get together and we, sometimes our recreation may go too far on the herb, but we all in that little vibe, and when we discussing things, it's like, we don't really let each other fully express thoughts, because we like trying to make a point, because, because not the herb itself, but the smoke, it's taking oxygen from the brain, so it's kind of messing with the short-term memory. We all trying to hurry up and cut each other off to get the points out before we forget what we were trying to have a rebuttal about, or what we were trying to say. It may not always be a rebuttal, but in most cases, what I'm saying, we kind of coming with some, well, I do it this way, but not all the time. It could be some addition to information, to a certain extent. But again, yeah, that's why that vibe, on the herbs, and again, the smoke, the actual smoke, and not the herb itself, is taking away the oxygen, and it's messing with the memory. So you talking in a way like, all right, me, not me, you know what I'm saying? So again, that's basically it. And two, working with any throat chakra crystal, matter of fact, it's good right now at this time, but definitely if you're gonna do the 7-day talking diet, you definitely Just have some blue lace agate or something too, because it's gonna stimulate the throat chakra as well, you know. So again, when you first starting off, and you might feel that lump in your throat, you know, to help soothe that. And again, the ohms and just deep breathing. Now, if I can envision that light, you know, coming up the spine, passing up the throat, through the throat chakra, through the spine area, and then coming back down to the front through the throat chakra, you know, as you exhaling, help, you know, keep that energy flow. But that's basically it, you know. And again, to each his own, you know. This is only for people that this is not no thing like the only way to be spiritual or get to a certain place is to, you know, do this. But you know, it's just one of those things, you know, like with anything, like with meditation or, you know, dealing with crystals. It's just certain things that kind of just help add to the sauce, you know. Just, you know, helps with the growth a lot, you know. So definitely something to check out and try. Peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrate, of course. We're not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now.